welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team's currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. Here's what our diggers have for week 159. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. Now without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have a new digger, the Lucha Bear, who's dug up WINGAMES /GG/PolyGeo. So we're looking at something here called PolyGeo? Like, I mean, polygons, geometric shapes, or a screensaver? They do got a help file, though. Yeah, seems like a pretty typical thing from the looks of this. Although, what was this called? Polygeometrics. So we select our shape and select the bitmap to create bitmap shapes? I don't get it. Well, I guess we're going to find out. I got a funny feeling this is going to be like a screensaver that just causes things to bounce around. I'm going to go install it and see where we end up. Okay, we got it installed right here. So, setup. So we got our shapes. No idea how this bitmap one is going to work. Apparently it's just looking from the Windows folder. Actually, just pick the Win logo for it. It's got password protected features, outline, 3D effects, clear screen, size. I guess there's just going to be a bunch of shapes bouncing around, but we'll find out. And apparently trying to open the order form resulted in nothing. Although I got to see the generic Windows help thing for once. Well, that's not working either. Well, admittedly, I didn't copy that stuff over. So if we go back into the file manager here, let's see if we can actually see what the ordering details are. So apparently this person wanted, this Bob Rummel, wanted $9.95 for this screensaver. So let's see how it works. Okay, so there's no test thing on the setup, so we gotta set it up ahead of time and then test. Okay, well I was right about the things bouncing around. And apparently all it does is just takes shapes and, yeah, bounces them around. And the 3D effect is apparently nothing more than sort of like a depth thing that changes the size of it. I will say, as far as screensavers go, this is kind of a bit of a mess here. Because the idea behind... Whoops, accidentally clicked. Again, the idea behind a screensaver is that you're trying to... Wait a minute. Okay. So the screensaver just stopped in the middle of it, and apparently just started and just stopped again. Okay, so we got random pop-ups about registering when it's the shareware version of the screensaver. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the purpose of a screensaver is to save the screen, as in prevent burn-in. This is not going to prevent any burn-in whatsoever. Although I wonder how far up we can ramp the... Nope, just up to 10. I'm going to turn the bitmap thing off because this doesn't seem to be working very well. There's also an outline only. And we can also turn off clear screen if we wanted it to affect the entire screen. As it is. And there we are. So yeah, that was Polygeometrics, a screensaver that doesn't really save the screen, but it's kind of visually, I was going to say interesting, but I think chaos theory applies better to this thing. Next up, we have another new digger, Ben Jemmett, who's dug up DOSGames /adventure /JackJim50. Well, whatever this is, we're probably going to be playing someone named Jim, as evidenced by the Jim.exe, as well as the JJConfig.exe. We got a Jim.doc, an order form, has a big doc file. Also an icon file? Is this going to be Windows software? Anyways, let's do edit file id.biz. See what we're working with here. Jacaranda Jim. Text adventure game. Escape from Iberspleen 4? Why has Alan the Gribbly been hypnotized? Who taught Mavis the cow to tap dance? What is the significance of the word invoices? By Graham Cluley. I think I've heard of this before, but I don't think I've actually ever played it. Now, whatever this is, it's worth $15. Also, I think some of the... Didn't we check out something called blocks? We might have. Well, let's actually see here. There is a config. Let's actually quickly run that, just in case there's like, Oh, you're basically just setting the colors. Well, that's kind of interesting, that you can actually set your own custom color configuration. Okay, well, Jim. Jacaranda Jim. 93, James Graham Cooley. Version 5.0. Okay. And yeah, I think I remember a question like this before where we had to either answer that we were in the US or the rest of the world. But anyways. So here we go. Howdy, my name is Jacaranda Jim. I'm going to be pronouncing that differently every single time. I was on a routine space journey to Jupiter, Sol System, Mutter Spiral, when my cargo ship was taken over by a crack squad of homicidal beechwood armchairs. Wait a minute. Your cargo ship was taken over by a crack squad of homicidal beechwood armchairs. This is gonna be pretty insane from the looks of it. So desperate to avoid one of those really silly adventure games with words like flip-flops and placid in them, I crash-landed into the wacky world of Iberspleen 4, where the most ridiculous word in circulation appears to be plinth, which is an actual word, believe it or not. I was rescued from the burning wreckage by a smug little gribbly called Ellen. This was just too much, and I decided it would be wise to call it a day and lose consciousness. Yeah, I'm sure losing consciousness was probably the best decision you've made so far. At the moment, still unconscious, and this is all a dream. You've just interrupted a game of tennis I was having against a rhinoceros called Hilda. Anyway, it's about time I woke up and got on with the adventure, I suppose. Everything is dark. An exit leads north. In the darkness, I hear Ellen's voice. Oh good, you're coming round. You've had quite a bash. Indeed. So, do we have a look command? Can we talk to Alan? Try saying or asking instead. Ask Alan about me. Say hi to Alan. I'm not quite sure how to do anything here. Maybe help tells me. So yeah, looking at the commands here, you do have to get a little creative with how you're typing things in. Okay, so I gotta figure out how to light up this room, or maybe just go north. Go up. In some sort of deserted quarry. Scattered about me are large chunks of limestone and granite. High above, large buzzards circle around, hunting for scraps of food. By my feet, there's a tunnel leading down into the darkness. Looming high above me, there's an enormous glacier. Okay, at least I can see now, so can I look at Alan finally? Look at Alan? Okay, so yeah, that's something that's throwing me off. This is a text adventure where you actually have to be descriptive with what you're typing in. Look, Alan didn't work. Look at Alan did. You don't encounter text parsers like that very often. Let's get on about the glacier, maybe? Alan smiles smugly and pretends to know something I don't. Can I hit the glacier? I guess not. I'm in the deserted quarry. In front of me lies the crumpled ruined remains of my space cruiser. It has been totally written off by the emergency landing. No chance of me being able to repair it. I can also see a torch. And it begins to rain. Well, lovely. Now, can we get the torch at least? Okay, taking the torch. Can we look at the torch? Torch is powered by instant karma batteries of eternal life and bears the company's slogan, "We all shine on." Torch doesn't seem to have an on-off switch, but is shining brightly. Okay. Well, at least they have eternal life, so with any luck, this thing isn't going to die anytime soon. Let's go back down into this tunnel here. In a dark, cold, north-south tunnel, water drips down from the rock ceiling. Few troglodyte creatures scamper around underneath my feet. Tunnel leads upwards to the surface and further into the underground complex to my south. At least I am sheltered from the rain in here. Look at tape. It is a copy of Spindle's Crochet, an adventure game by Miss Clammy H. Earlug, with glorious graphics by Lucy M. Hargale. It looks to me to be an incredibly exciting adventure game full of intrigue, cocktail parties, and small slimy snails. Holographic cassette cover portrays a rather handsome-looking hero figure battling with a psychotic vacuum cleaner. This game is just all over the place. Yeah, I'm slightly stuck at the moment, so that seems like a good spot to take a break from this game. But yeah, this is Jacaranda Jim. It's apparently a much more detailed, despite the ludicrous story so far, this is a much more detailed text adventure that I'm used to seeing, especially in terms of the parser. So that's kind of throwing me off, but at the same time, it's also kind of welcome to be able to just type in like just normal English and be able to get results. So I got a funny feeling this would be a pretty interesting game to go through. But again, it would take time to do that because it's a text adventure, and as with all text adventures, there's a lot to learn and a lot of trial and error to get things right. And our last dig for today comes from Brennan of RetroSwim. WINGAMES /unclassified /Windtrack. Ooh, I think I know what this is. And you might be saying, well, Windtrack is going to be one of those Star Trek type games. Well... oh yeah, this is exactly what I thought it is. Because I used to play this all the time. Actually, I'm kind of surprised I haven't talked about this until now. So yes, here is Windtrack, which is obviously taking, audio clips from the show. This is like all of those kinds of typical Trek games that you know about. This is like one of the best ones out there. And it was apparently made by Joe Jaworski? Joe Jaworski? Something like that. And apparently he was also asking for $20 for this software, which, like, here's the thing. You have audio clips from the show in here. So that is a little bit sketchy, trying to ask for money for that. But then again, this is also the 90s, and that kind of stuff ends up everywhere. But gameplay-wise is what I'm talking about, though. So
automatic all points relay from Starfleet Command, Captain. Code 1.
I actually know which episode that quote's from. So yeah, so we've got apparently Starfleet Command telling us 24 alien vessels have invaded the galaxy. Our estimates indicate that the Federation headquarters will be attacked on stardate 3247.0. This gives you 37 Earth days to carry out your mission. And 5-star bases in the area if we need it. So yeah, it even has like a sort of background noise going on. And so the way this works is you actually have a whole bunch of windows you can pull up. They're all maximizable, every single one of these. Like, this game was designed... well, guess not that one. Some of them can be maximized. And some of them, you can change the size, but it doesn't really do much. So yeah, just like your typical Trek game, you got your long-range scan here. You can see what our stardate is. I should point out that time will it just did it right now. Time advances automatically in this game. Slowly, mind you, but still automatically. So we got our warp and our impulse navigation here. Impulse to move within the sector, warp to move entire sectors. We got access to our photon torpedoes. Got access to our shields. Should probably... there we go. Get some power into the shields there. So shields are powered. What did our long-range sensors say? And yeah, these controls here let you quickly flip between different screens without having to constantly bring them up manually. Or you can, if you've got a big enough screen, you could have all of these on screen all at once. But we're not going to do it that way. So long range sensor says there's a starbase over here. And we also got an enemy down here and 2 enemies over here. So let's go course 180, warp 1. And yep, there's our enemy. So let's load up the phasers. Single target, we'll do 100 phaser power. Oh, that wasn't quite enough. Again? Still not enough. Okay, again. There we go. And yeah, they're called aliens because there's actually a whole bunch of different ones, and they also all have different stats as well. I think one of them's even a Borg ship, which is actually really hard to take out if you happen to find one. So, warp 1. Okay. So we're going to do impulse this way, just to get into position for the photons. Okay, got one of them, and you can do your angles a little differently. Like this one here, we're gonna say this angle. There we go. And I think that those purple ones are supposed to like represent Ferengi Marauders, kind of, maybe. I'm not sure. One other thing that's neat is you actually have this little computer here. Oh, there's a computer command summary in the manual that tells you what you can actually do here. You don't actually get the manual unless you register. But yeah, you can do stuff with this computer here, but apparently not not easily with the shareware version. And it even maximizes too. Like, I mean, it's pretty interesting, just the sheer amount of stuff that this program can do. Okay, so let's head down there so that we can take out another couple enemies. So, navigation, 180, warp 2, execute, as opposed to engage for some reason. Okay, I think I can hit these guys with the photons. Like that. Well, that's one of them. And then the other one... oh, he just moved as well. So that should do it. Got him. And I think there was a starbase upwards? There was. So let me just quickly show what that's like. So warp 1 upwards. And we got a starbase over there. So impulse 90 degrees for 3 spaces. And we're automatically docked. And whenever you dock to the starbase, your shields also go back down, so it's kind of important to remember that that happens. So that was Windtrack. This is actually an extraordinarily well done Trek game. Like, I mean, the only thing that's kind of weird is the fact that it's this really well put together game, but is using clips of audio from the show to do it. So it's like... it's hard to really form a good opinion about that, just because of the nature of the fact of what's going on here. Like, I mean, this is something that came up with Cyberdogs, which is that one particular top-down shooter that I covered a while back, where it seems to be using the same sound effects from Doom, but then as I discovered, many of the sound effects in Doom also came from a particular audio library, which, if you actually listen... in various other games, you'll actually hear some of those same sound effects from Doom in other games as well. And it's not because it was taken from Doom, it's because it was taken from the same audio library. So it's like that situation's a bit different than this one, where it is straight up taken from the television show. So, I don't know. The thing is, the guy is charging $20 for it. Where was it? Yeah, he's charging $20 for it. So even though it's a very good one, you do have to consider the entire situation, but in terms of whether or not it's worth it to you for that. So